Welcome to my humble abode. I'm Yorkie the Talespinner, and this is Tales of a Coffee, the channel where we start the day together with a narrative tale and a cup of coffee in the hope of welcoming a blessed day. We return now to Disco Elysium, where we seem to be being rather disreputable as police, in a world where the police are seemingly not the most official unit there is.
You see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, Ultra series.
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Let's have a look at them.
A pair of found Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super air, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
That's a bit more than that, yeah.
Only? That's madness. Found Ultra. Wear the future. You remember the slogan from some magazine.
Let's have another look, shall we?
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable found Ultras atop them.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
But I already looked at the sneakers, my friend.
Then look at them again. These are the premium lifestyle sneakers, officer. The best on the market.
Can I just buy the sad, conquered Samaran speakers?
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk.
But I need some speakers.
Well, if you want them...
He pauses for a moment, calculating.
But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground.
You got a nice box there. Another one there with your jacket on.
If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra.
Could you?
Damn. So you have to buy the sneakers first.
Alright, well, never mind that then.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer.
You're cool?
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
He makes both hands into finger pistols and fires a few finger bullets in the air. Really? You think I'm cool?
Oh, yes! You got style. You got personal style. You know what you like.
He surveys his consumerist kingdom with an air of satisfaction.
You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like you. Take your time.
He sells back on a pile of boxes he's sitting on. But what kind of stuff are you selling?
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
Where'd you get those comfy pants?
I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers. All extremely cool and above board.
Yeah, but do you have a permit to sell all that?
Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits. Just economic freedom. Take a look around.
He takes a deep breath.
It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
Kim, is it true he doesn't need a permit to sell?
It is, yes. Anyone can set up their shop whenever they feel like it.
Oh.
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city and its law officials are so cool.
Wait, but what are we doing here if there's no permits?
If you wanted to be cynical about it, you could say we are here to protect the interests of property holders.
True.
I am not, however.
My man, officer, you make all this possible. Without you, this climate would be extremely bad for business. You're part of the gossamer state.
Gossamer is a fine, filmy substance consisting of cobwebs spun by small spiders, seen especially in autumn. It's safe to say he's referring to the near absence of regulations.
A gossamer state. You're right, this is cool. I'm part of a hip, thin, almost non-existent apparatus.
Yeah, that's the main thing about you. Freedom is great. It's what lets independent entrepreneurs like me sell quality goods at competitive prices.
Is there a discount for cool officers like me?
No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale. Anything you want, 50% off.
But did he first mark them up 100% just so that he could put them on sale?
Are those things really on sale, or did you just jack up the price first?
My man, you know how the game is played. You and me, we should work together. What do you think? Shake things up?
Yeah, that's all then. Let me ask you something else.
Anything for you.
Where are you from, Ceiling?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
You're from the Apricot Suzerainty, right? Aren't you? Am I guessing right, my friend?
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say you're from, pronounce it very basic, Sea Guy.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
Yeah, but is it only a shithole because of Revachol?
If you say so, officer. I don't worry too much about politics. I'm an entrepreneur, you know. Whatever's good for business is good for me.
Any cash to spare, my friend?
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
You know, you do seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Would you like to support a member of the local police force?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
Well, think of it as an investment in your future, and that you do have one.
An investment? What kind of investment?
It's an investment in your customer base. Got to prime the pump, man.
Fair point. You can't have a successful business without a loyal customer base. How much is your loyalty worth?
10 real?
10 real is a bargain for that kind of investment. You got it, my man.
Alright, I'll take a look around. Bye. We got 10 real off him. Idiot.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box. A variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Let's have a look through.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic. The kind of plastic that melts in the sun. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct more UV light into your pupils. A UV magnifier.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool. while doing your dangerous police work.
Try again. Maybe I can find some interesting stuff in the box. I see a pair of water blue shades. The writing on the left temple says sub-insulindic rendezvous. The frame appears to be a hand carved out of bone.
Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture.
For the first time, the street vendor's voice trails off as if he watches you inspect the glasses. Let's try them on.
This is how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster. Giant, hidden, and strangely tender at heart. All is blue.
I'm not sure I have, but okay.
Yes, but they also make your soul quiver like jello. So deep.
Wow, officer. You look so cool.
The street vendor has picked up his pace again as you observe the world through the deep sea-tinted lenses.
And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed them all up because they've got no taste. But you found them.
Tim, what about these?
The lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough examination. It's a case to him.
You look like a musician. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take them if you want.
Well, it reduces perception but builds inland empire. Give me those shades you recommend.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Damn, officer. You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
Bit cheaper.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Gently, he removes glasses from your face, so then you're free again. I'm telling you what to do, Kim. I like the
No,
glasses.
I can't. We can't walk around with you looking like this. Okay, fine. Go ahead. If you want to look like a walking midlife crisis, then who am I to interfere?
We can have 1 electrochemistry and -1 logic, or 1 perception and -1 perception and 1 inland empire. Let's take that.
A good starter pair, officer. And when you're ready to upgrade, come back and see me.
All right.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
Save the economy? That sounds off.
What are you talking about with this save the economy nonsense?
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco.
This doesn't make any sense. Why exactly does the economy need saving?
Look around, officer. You see all these premium goods just sitting there, not getting bought? We've got to keep the flow of goods moving. Is this really the economy we want to leave to our children?
But I don't have children. At least I don't think I do.
Too bad, officer. Kids make it all worthwhile. Without kids, who's going to be around to enjoy the economy?
Well,
Don't
the one
let
that
me
needs
stop
saving.
you. Open the box and browse a little.
Yeah, let's do that.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand, buy second-hand. Keep the economy moving.
Let's see if we can find anything in this pile of rags, shall we?
No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight around your thighs and too loose around the waist. They itch like hell. Like an itch pit in hell.
Yeah, I don't like wool.
All natural materials, see? Real wool, 100% skin friendly, and they're yours for only 2 real.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're the star of the show here.
Let's go. We don't have the money for that. Have a look at our internalizations. Alright. We can't exactly do anything here right now. Endurance legendary. Composure legendary. Medable. Impossible. So you find out who is in the Union box. Okay, inspect the victim's body, which I can't do right now because it's too overwhelming. Pay for damages. I need 60. Back down your badge. Let's see, stumble across it down the line. Miracles happen. Yeah, it's gonna have to do, isn't it? Made the cell phone reporting it. Keep searching for the caller. Explore the whirling secret passages. I didn't see any secret doors. Oh yes, the one at the back of the thing there. It's racing it there. Put it into a free internalizing slot in your head. Okay, get El Realty lowdown. Okay, and track down your gun. So far, not a lot. I think I can sell some stuff here though. Oh, what's this? Fingerless gloves. What am I currently wearing? +1 in spacing compared to +1 electrochemistry. I think we'll keep it as it is. And that's the Bulls game. See if we can sell some stuff at the pawn shop.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Okay, there's something I'd like to sell.
Sure. Let me have a look.
I'd like to sell my clothes.
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
Let me check my
Anything
pockets.
else you're thinking of selling?
We got, we need ammonia. Alright. At least we've more than made up for what we've sold. So, what we've done, so up we go.
Another time, perhaps.
Yeah, another time. Right. What else? Can't get beyond here, it seems. There's nothing this way, is there? Get through there. Coin operated viewer has been banged up inoperable. That reads broken window. Tibbs has window. Still there. If you had a bag in your hand, perhaps you could collect these bottles and sell them. Because I don't have a bag. Ooh, roundabout north. Ooh, Cape Side Act, matinee theatre. A lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. We're down the back, so that's something. Who does Sunny's Lane? Roundabout north. Inside apartments. Inside the frame of motorcycle in repair.
Hey! Up here, piggo!
Okay. There's a girl up there. Did she spill the paint? She might have done. Maybe she's a rebel. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Lizine. Who are you?
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand. Joyce L. What does the L stand for?
Phaeton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized raincoat. What gives away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
Take her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
The grip is tight and cold.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual.
I don't think being drunk's
unusual.
unusual.
Of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
What do you mean,
I
archipelago?
mean, we are on Le Caillou, are we not?
She raises her brow.
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas a la Mer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the fourth largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago.
I'm not going to challenge her. Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat round here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Fair enough.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Ravachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Why?
Why what? Stop thinking. Take her down.
I'll come off like I'm envious, and I'm not.
You're not? Okay then. Just keep on admiring the boat then, unburdened by envy.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19, because that's the type of sloop it is.
No. Yeah, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
I think I can handle I think I have a handle on the boat thing.
Good.
Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
What do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Who are the other Indo tribes?
Son Baptiste, LUM, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
He does not register the real meaning of the remark. How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
Well, that's a lot.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments.
The way he picks his loop, she grasps the mainstay for balance.
A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain.
Wow.
Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
It probably has. It probably helps her to start out with the royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
Wow. 8% of all cargo in the world, that's quite an endeavour.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about the strike, though?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
But what if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
How do I repeal it, then?
Why? By throwing off half a century of foreign domination under the Coalition. Unfortunately for you, the Coalition also leases you the right to police West Revachol.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
All right, we'll leave that alone, then.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
Yeah, what's your role exactly?
I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Let me just check what that ping was. I may have to take a break. I don't. No, that's the problem. The union stopped all okay.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
You mean Jean-Luc, my race mentor? He's a great teacher, a man of virtue.
Oh, so you've met him. Has he beguiled you with his inane theories?
My colleague has his peculiarities. Let's not go into this particular one just yet.
Of course. To each their own.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
He looked at his notes.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
What happened to this, Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it?
He paused to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget.
Oh.
Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Well, I assume so. Either that or the guy's being sarcastic. Okay, then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
So what are their demands right now?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I don't know what to think about that.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
That's going to be hard.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
You know, 22 seems to be an important number. 22 terminals, 2,200 workers. Oh, the workers can't be... That's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
So what are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
And the scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
So tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Is he really that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there are two of them?
Yes. Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does. And when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
He hesitates, looking for the right expression.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
He turns to you.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
an effective advocate of the rights of local working men?
Why do you think so?
Her voice is calm, that is only curiosity.
What she calls corruption is simply an aesthetic category.
The good Labour men can't fault them for a little corruption.
Ha! A real man of the left. What else can I tell you about?
Well, one more thing. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
That sounds like some kind of extortion.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
What can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
Thrall silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, this city, nothing.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
How do I negotiate with this one?
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll try.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a moment, madam. 74% on race theory. Oh, hang on. No, we've internalized that, I guess. Or maybe not. Alright. Got a hobo cop, rigorous self-critique, and okay. Okay.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Oh, so we're henchmen now.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation. Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
What do you propose, that we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we're siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Could you, find my badge?
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
The company must have more ears on the ground. She could have known about my condition.
I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all.
Well, I'm sorry for putting us in this situation. I'll handle it.
It would not hurt if you tried more in the future, yes.
Let's get back to her then.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay, tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
You get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. the motor lorries at the roundabout.
Lorries? Am I going to need bolt cutters for this?
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Gives you a knowing look.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
No coincidence the lorries are standing like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However...
She pauses, looking to the sea.
This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
He looks north.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable. The weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
What proof do you have the unions involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
But why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
Very important by the sound of it.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCN. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
We'll take this case, probe the drivers and see what yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
What? Why? It seems like a question I've asked before.
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes.
Well, those are nice clothes, and the fabric's exquisite.
Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible, within reason.
Yeah, so...
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable.
Simeon, you just called me an ape.
You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
I'm not ashamed.
Oh, but you are. Too ashamed to ask this person for money. Too scared to belittle yourself in her eyes. Those half-precious stones of Ur-Denil
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Can I have some money?
I am sorry. It just doesn't come out of your mouth. What does is surprisingly eloquent, really. The last one, not the first three. Those are ape speak.
Let's come over here.
Hi. Why'd you say that?
I'm going.
That's garbage. You're a police officer.
I'm the stuff people have under their fingernails. Let's talk about something else, please.
Of course.
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're supposedly in.
This reality?
He pulls a hood close around her neck.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
Related to that medical episode, I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
He puts down a thermal cup and looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then.
Yeah.
Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
Mm-hmm. And what about Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
So tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed.
He closes her
The
eyes.
ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
So are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities. Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
So what's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her. And to humanity at large.
Okay, that's Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
So why is it so great then?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built the city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Semenine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
When was it built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve history exactly?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about
He points across the water where the skyscraper rise.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Let's look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Where are we?
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
You watch you closely as you scan the horizon.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
Alright, Lieutenant, I'll continue later.
It's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
What is,
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Alright, you said do it later,
Glad to have
Lieutenant.
been of assistance. The little that I know.
Then I'll talk
Of
to you
course,
later.
Detective. Take care.
Got some magnesium.
Yeah, you better keep walking.
I don't see how we get up there, honestly. Maybe another route. Or maybe we go through there.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
There's the police, open the door.
Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
Please let me inside. Baby, it's cold outside.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
He trails off, leaving the sentence unfinished.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Kim, tell her we're real policemen.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
The lieutenant repeats dutifully.
There is no reply. Just faint, sweeping sounds inside.
Alright, I guess we've done that. We've also almost got Mazovian socioeconomics done. Can't do anything there.
Look at me when I'm
Well, I don't seem to be getting anywhere right now. This is the logo of the municipality of Revachol. We have that. Get a reality lowdown. Joyce informed lynching and the jam mystery. Alright, join us next time where we continue. In the meantime, enjoy your coffee and I hope you have a blessed day. And if you would be so kind as to help the channel grow with a like, comment and subscribe, I'd truly appreciate it. Bye now.